All right, good morning, guys. I uploaded my second part, my pickups to the Oldsmar show, showing y'all some of the stuff I grabbed. I thought it was a great pickup. If you get a chance, go watch that in case you don't want to watch the more of the card show, scanny thing of all the people's displays. That's what I'm thinking of. Sorry, it's early. Coffee's just kicking in. And, one of the things I want to talk about real quick is we got releases coming out to retail. We had it's mainly Prizm football. That's what most people are targeting right now. The Bowman stuff has been on fire personally on the retail side of it, from the stuff I've opened, from the stuff my friends have opened. The Bowman baseball retail has been fire. I know some people don't like the megas because pretty much it comes down to 2 packs in a mega. And on average, one or two, sometimes to 3 boxes guarantee a numbered hit. We do open some that have none, so keep that in mind. And then we opened up some that have 2. So they are hit or miss. The Mojo refractor stuff sells really, really well though for Bowman baseball. And again, Bowman's, it's the fine line of any collection, because it can and usually does get better with age. Some guy in there you've never heard of, and you look on the back of the card, his stats are garbage. 5 years from now, could be, an all-star. So that's what I love about that product. You just kind of grab it and hold on to it and just never let it go until you want to throw it away or, sell it super cheap. But it's part of the game, right? Obviously, there's this little inflation thing going on. We're in a bear market. Everybody wants to talk about it. If it's affecting you, it is, because there's certain things, obviously, we buy every day that cost more, and you may have to slow down on how you spend or redirect. Even I'm reevaluating stuff, but I'm reevaluating it from a standpoint of, do I need 6 different TV services, meaning Disney Plus, Netflix, YouTube TV, all those things? Like, what do I really need? And I think a lot of the stuff we buy at the end of the day, obviously, is not a need. It's a want or a like. So just keep that in mind. We do need gas for the most part, because you have to put gas in your car, and that's very expensive right now, especially if you drive far. I'm lucky enough. I have a 15-minute drive to work. People are not that lucky. You're on the interstate every day. You're feeling that really bad right now. I mean, really bad. At that point, that's when you start hitting the cravings meal deals at Taco Bell and stuff, because that's where your the money differential needs to be put into, is the food versus the gas. But all right, back into hobby stuff. My biggest thing is, people are like, the hobby's not doing well, everything's going down in price. Also think of it this way, that the people that have the cards they wanted have already bought those cards, and then everybody's selling all the other cards aren't going for as much. I think that's a very big part of it too. I haven't seen these big like collectible and I can't think of the other sites right now that buy cards and then piece them out basically back to you, where you buy shares. I haven't seen them, from what I know, going out and buying any really, really big cards or jerseys and stuff. I know there's some stuff coming up on auction, and you don't want to buy something like, what is it? Is it Will Chamberlain or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's like Kansas jersey that's going up? It's a one of a kind. Like, I don't think there's another one. I wouldn't want a card company to buy that and cut that up. If it's the only one, and there probably is no other ones, absolutely not. Do not cut that up. But there's a Jordan autograph game used jersey from a specific time or games. I think it was from a finals game. That I don't care if you cut it up, because there's technically a lot of Jordan jerseys out there. Just most people don't sell them. So that's just one of those things. Yeah, just stay in your lane, buddy. The other thing too is there's a lot of card shows now. And last night when I was I was watching Flipping Steve's channel with Neo and with Dustin, and they said, they'd asked me if I was going to National, and basically I said no, because unless I win Steve's giveaway, I have a 20% chance I'm going to go, because the cost of hotel is expensive, cost of airfare is expensive. You got to eat every day while you're there. That's expensive. I want to enjoy the show and buy some stuff. I'm not a trade person. Now, you see all the pickups I have. maybe I just need to sell a bunch of that stuff, recoup that money, and then spend it back into it. But I'm figuring if I wanted to go to the National right now, I would need about $2,000 easy, 2,500 to really go and enjoy myself. Pay for everything that I need to pay for. In case I have to Uber. Uber's very expensive right now, even if you're going a short distance, especially when you're in places like that. And, there's always the talk of how safe the place is and, things like that. So they put stuff in your head and you're like, I'm really trying to figure out, like, how many people aren't going to this National versus would be going to it if it was in Chicago or just even somewhere else, Orlando, Florida. And because I don't know why they don't put it somewhere else. Like, at this point, we're at the age of change and moving stuff around and not making stuff feel like the same old boring thing. And I mean, the Chicago venue I think works fantastic. I do like that location. I've only been there one time, but going there one time, I can see why it's easy to go back to that. But like where it's at now, I mean, yes, I'm a little excited because Orlando is much closer to Tampa, but Orlando is also a place you can take the whole family to, because they could go do something else while you're doing the card show, and you're not going to have to invest all that time and energy trying to split it up if you don't want to. It's just one of those things, or it's just more to do. Everybody's worried about the casino sucking up some money from the shows. I'm sure it's going to happen. You're going to have people hung over the next day and are going to show up right away, or may spend the money that they do and then they're trying to recoup even more. And with the way costs are right now, how many dealers are in a comfortable position to where they don't have to sell? Because let's face it, you go to a show, you ask about something, and you can't even get it for a comp. They want more than that because they have more into it. Well, there's a lot of cards right now that they got a lot more into that they are not going to recoup anytime soon at all. And it's not like the hobby is not going to go up and down still. It definitely will. Players are going to play, stuff's going to happen, people are getting excited, they're going to go buy something. That's just how it is. Bobby Witt, perfect example for baseball. Came in, obviously everybody overreacts, but the first few games, especially first game, I believe he has like a walk-off or something, but then he straight quieted down. But if you go look at his last week, he's like 2 for 5 every game. And is he getting it? And does he continue to advance? That's really what it is. It's once they get it, do they continue to advance? And this is why you see so many baseball players at the latter part of their career, late 20s, early 30s, become so consistent and effective. Because they've been there, done that. They know all the pitchers, they know the pitches, they know the sequences, they know how people are trying to get them out. All that stuff is now in their head. They created a new game plan over time, and they're skilled enough to be able to execute that. And that's why that happens. But when you get the young guys that come in 21, 22, and they can dominate basically at their position, then you're talking about somebody that has a way better future because the numbers are going to be there quicker for them, and they may not have to play as long in order to establish great numbers to meet Hall of Fame criteria. Because at the end of the day, there's 2 things you should want as a player: a championship and to be in the Hall of Fame. And if you're playing not for either one of those and it's straight money, personally, you should get out and go to be a banker or something. All right? Because a baseball player, any sport, you're playing to win. You're playing to be great, the best you can be, and hopefully the best of one of those ever, Hall of Fame people. And I think that's the drive you want out of a player. So like when I see some of these players that I think their drive is more social media and hanging out with all the famous people, the only drive they have is to stay in the limelight, not drive to be great. That greatness is coming to be popular and famous more than it is to be great at what they do. So I always keep that in mind when I collect certain people. It's a big deal. You can tell still I have a sinus infection going on here. Almost over though. But again, I don't know how is this affecting everybody else. I personally think everybody talking about it and pushing it in everybody's face is what's kind of, pushing the narrative. Yes, it's happening, but how much is it truly affecting your day-to-day life? Obviously, I get the main things: gas, milk, eggs, whatever it is. One of the things when I go up to Indiana, a pound of bacon is like $3.50. Pound of bacon in Tampa is like $6-7 for the cheap stuff. So it is, I guess, because it had to drive down here. I don't know. We have pigs down here too, so I'm not really sure what the issue is. But it's just an example of not everything's always the same price everywhere else in the country as well, which we know, obviously. But how's this affecting you in the hobby? Did you watch my pickup video? Did you like it? Are any of y'all going to the National? You know, and, you know, it's right now I just see a lot of negativity being pushed out. But again, negativity breeds comments, breeds views, breeds subscriptions. And I'm not saying maybe they're deliberately doing it, but they're trying to inform the hobby about what's going on. In certain aspects, I agree 100%. But when every video you do seems to come off as just digging a hole to bury somebody, that's not cool. It really isn't. I like good information. I like knowledge. I like knowing things. I love that. But when you're doing it in a depicted manner to simply slight everybody or everything all at once, I don't like that, because it's not necessary. And unfortunately, a lot of people are gonna, in the back of your head, you see it and it starts ticking a little bit. It starts getting sucked in. You know, it's like a spider building a web. Over time, it's gonna happen, and then you have this conglomerate that's catching all this crap. You know, and then, you know, somebody's gonna walk right through it, and then you gotta do it all over again. I walked through a spider web this morning. I don't know why that happened. All right, guys, I'm getting close to getting to work, just past Raymond James Stadium. We got the Stanley Cup starting tonight, so hopefully the Lightning can just peel this thing off in 4 games and be done with it, and get our 3rd championship in a row, because I think each championship as we do it becomes more valuable, just because the first one was kind of during COVID, and then the second one was when COVID was just barely over, and then third one is pretty much COVID's not really much around and affecting things like it was before. So it'd be nice to get this thing done. Avalanche, they're a good team, but they're not us. And I think we've already faced the 2 toughest teams. Pretty much with the Avalanche, you just got to get through Makar. They played a couple teams that had goalies that were banged up and some other stuff. So I like our chances right now. They're on a longer time off. Usually people don't come out and do well. So if we take this first game up there, God forbid if we take the first 2, I think they're just screwed. And then other than that, football, we're waiting for that to get started. All these little mini camps have just gotten over. You know, Buccaneers, we've done nothing but still gotten better somehow. I don't know how we're going to do this next year, because the cap hit's ridiculous. But hey, if you keep restructuring money for everybody and deferring it and stretching it out over time because the players are willing to do that, you got to do it. And a lot of players don't do that. Not teams full of players, because like we have multiple players doing that because they all want to win and they know what they have in front of them right now. But all right, guys, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Hope you're doing well and enjoy your week.